filming in front of my still not done new filming space. As you can see, it's slowly coming together. I want to make it organic. I don't want to just have tons of books. I just want you to I just kind of want you guys to see some of the books that I love. You're not going to be able to see my whole collection. I'm sorry. I just don't have enough space for that. But, oh, hi. He's covering my feet. Anyway, I'm thinking like maybe every so often I'll like change it up depending on the theme or, you know, recent reads that I'm really loving and I want you guys to like see them. I don't know. Like, what do you think? This is not going to be here. I'm going to remove this because it's kind of Christmassy. Yeah, you can't see the stuff over here. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out how I want it to look. I don't think I want to put any books here. I might put trinkets here because this doesn't look too sturdy. So I'm still trying to figure it all out. But so far, I'm kind of loving it. I just kind of wanted a place that looked a little more bookish instead of just the back where you can see my kitchen. Like, that's kind of boring, but that was the best place in terms of lighting. So yeah, excuse my hat. I haven't really done much to my hair lately, so yeah. Oh my gosh, you're both at my feet. What's going on down there? Anyway, today I wanted to bring you my July wrap up. Oh my gosh, this is insanity, you guys. We're in August. Like, it's August. What? But before I do my July wrap up, I was coming home and I found a box from Barnes & Noble, and I do remember what I ordered, but I did want to give you guys a mini haul so you can just kind of see what I got. It's like 3 or 4 books, I can't remember. I do have an August haul that is coming up soon, so this order, I ordered it right after I filmed that video, so that's kind of why this is kind of disjointed. But yeah, let me show you what I got. So here is the box here, so let's slice it open without hurting myself. It always seems like when you're unboxing something on camera, it takes you longer. Like, you can't do it right. Like, I don't understand why that is. It's puzzling. It's very puzzling. All right, we got it open. I got 3 books. So I got Infernal Devices Clockwork Prince and Infernal Devices Clockwork Princess. And there's my Clockwork Angel right here. So I have the complete trilogy, graphic novel / manga. So, got those. And then I finally got what everyone has been raving about, Saga. I got the first volume. This is Saga Volume 1. I'm super excited. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. So, yeah. Oh, the baby's breastfeeding right on the cover. That's kind of cool. I am so excited for this. Like, I can't even... I love it. And okay, I'm done. I'm having a fictional orgasm over here. All right, so that's what I got from Barnes & Noble. I actually have a couple more things coming in the mail, but those are for giveaways that I'm finally mailing out after forever. But yeah, let's get into the wrap up. So, of course, I'm going to divide it up like I did in my last video where I talked about the publishers' arcs first, then my own books. I kind of liked how I separated it like that, so I want to try that again this time. So the first book I want to talk about is Teaching Roman, and that is the second book in Jennifer Albin's like Good Girls something trilogy or series. I don't know if it's trilogy. You don't need to read them, you know, back to back to back. And I actually really enjoyed this book. It's her new adult series. And it was really, really fun. It wasn't anything to take like too seriously. The main character, I think her name was Jessica. And the male's name is Roman. They were really, really cute together. I enjoyed the story. It was just a really fun, light read. And it was something I read after the booktube-a-thon. So it was just nice. I didn't have to think too much. I had a blast. I ended up giving that book a 4 out of 5 stars. So it was awesome. The next book I read was Command Me by Geneva Lee. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is classified as an erotic romance, but let me tell you, it's all necessary. It is not unnecessary sex. It was so brilliantly written. This is kind of what I mean when my whole sex and literature discussion that we talked about, how sex is important in books because it can enhance the story. It can give you the proper emotions and feels, and it can paint the picture properly. This erotic romance was brilliant. Oh my gosh, I loved every minute of this book, and it was a kind of like a cliffhanger at the end that had me going, no, I need the next book now. But the female character, I forget her name, she was awesome. She was the perfect amount of flawed and the perfect amount of strength. She would not lay down and die, and she had been so beaten and so downtrodden, and just the society was just on her shoulders. And I just really love how she carried herself throughout this book. And the male in the book is very dominant. He's a very dominant character, but she does not let him run her. 5 out of 5 stars. Totally. The next book I read is called Ready to Wed by Cindy Madsen. This was another arc that was given to me by a publisher, and I reviewed it. I will link it down below on my blog. This was a pretty good read. It was a nice, fluffy read. It wasn't anything that can be taken too seriously. There were a lot of cheesy moments. It's a great beach read. It's something, if you're wanting to get out of a reading slump or get out of a funk, this is the book for you. I enjoyed it, but it's not something that I'm going to remember for life. So I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. The next book I read, was it a book or a novella? I can't really remember, but it's called A Lesson in Temptation by Audra North. This was fun. This was fun. It involved a professor and his student after she was no longer his student, and their relationship. They meet during like a tango or a salsa class or something like that, and they just kind of hash out their emotions. It was awesome. It was a fun read. Nothing to be taken too seriously, but I did learn a lesson in this. I did totally learn a lesson in this book, because I find myself being right on par with the professor in this book, and it was kind of eye-opening to kind of just remind myself to, hey, live your life. You know, don't be a workaholic. You need to have fun. You need to appreciate life while you still have it. So I enjoyed this book a lot, and I ended up giving it, or is it a novella? I ended up giving it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Next book I read is Never Been Kissed by Molly O'Keefe. I did a book review on that, so I will link it down below. I loved it, loved it. This was a strong woman who got herself in a little bit of trouble in Africa and needed to be rescued by her bodyguard, her family bodyguard, who was no longer the family bodyguard at the time, but he cared about her, so he went in and rescued her. And it was about their relationship, and he was a troubled soul, and she was just trying to help him, you know, figure out who he was as a person. And it was just awesome. I enjoyed it. It was great. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Next book I read is one of my new favorite books of 2014, and Mindy Ruiz is the author of this book, Enchanted Heart. And Mindy is actually subscribed to my YouTube channel, so if she's watching this, hi Mindy! Yes, I'm talking about your book again. Anyway, Enchanted Heart. I don't know what to say about this book. It is a young adult fantasy book, and it's the first book in what, a trilogy? Mindy, is that what it's going to be? I need the second book. I've been hounding her about the second book. Anyway, it is so good. It is a fantasy novel that is based around a deck of cards, like the whole spades, clubs, hearts, diamonds thing, and each of those houses or each of those suits have like a characteristic or like kind of power to them. Oh, I don't even know how to explain it. It was just so amazing. And of course, usually the first book in a trilogy or a first book in any series is expounding and explaining the world, and it's kind of introducing you to the world. The one thing I love about this book that Mindy did, and I told her, and it's in my review, I will link it down below, is we were finding out things at the same time that the main character was. We were never a step ahead of the main character, and I loved that. Oh, it was so good. It was so good. 5 out of 5 stars. And then the final arc that I got is Harder by Robin York. This is the second book in the Caroline and West duology. I really like the story. It's really heavy. It is a really heavy story, as well as the first book, Deeper. They're very heavy books, but they're very necessary. These are books that can change your life if you're in a certain place at the time that you read them. I loved this book. It was absolutely emotional. All the feels, from sadness to frustration to happiness to joy to anger to everything. I just felt it all when I read this book. And so I have a review linked down below. 5 out of 5 stars. Okay, now let's go ahead and move on to my physical books that I read throughout the month. Let's talk about this first book, The Archive by Victoria Schwab. This is the first book in the Archive duology, trilogy series, I don't know. This is just a weird book. Is it like paranormal-ish? That's what I'm getting. I'm getting like paranormal vibes. Like dead people are like kept in like library conditions. Like there's like keepers, and what else is there? There's like, oh, see, librarians. There's all these different kinds of things, but yeah, dead people are like classified in like various like categories, or kept in, I forget what they're called. They're archived is what they are, pretty much, to keep them from like going out into the world or like wreaking havoc, or I don't really even know. This is the thing. I just didn't love this, so I don't even remember much about it because I wanted to forget it as soon as I was done with it. It just really wasn't a book for me. I was uninterested. You guys know how fast I read. I read so fast. This is a very small book for me. I could have read it in a day. I swear it took me like a week. I feel like it took me at least 5 days to read this book. I'd have to check with you to be sure, but I didn't really enjoy this as much as I thought I would, and I was so disappointed about that because there were so many people that rave about it. Jessie the Reader raves about it. But, you know, every now and then you find those books that don't work for you, but they work for others, and this is one of them. I just did not love this book. I ended up giving it a 3 out of 5 stars. The next book I have here is Looking for Alaska by John Green. This is a book that I read during the Booktubeathon. You guys already know that I read it and how fast I read it. I liked it. It's not my favorite. It was okay. I did like, yeah, I liked the main character for the most part. I didn't really enjoy Alaska. I didn't enjoy Alaska at all. Like, did people like really think she was cool? Like, I don't understand at all. I didn't enjoy her. I didn't. I had emotions about, you know, the second half of the book, but I didn't enjoy her as a character. I was just like, oh, well, is she the center of this book? Like, okay. But I get it. I got it. By the end of it, I got it. And I said, okay, well, yeah. So I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Next book, One Tiny Lie by K.A. Tucker. I also read this during the Booktubeathon, as you already know. I loved it. Read it so fast. It was one of those feel-good books. Of course, it had a little bit of drama, because what book doesn't? It's a new adult read. It takes a character that was in the first book, 10 Tiny Breaths. Her name is Livy, I think. Livy? Is that you, Livy? Yep, Livy. And she's a little sister of the main character of the first book. And this is her journey as she's growing up. So I enjoyed this one. I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read the manga of Clockwork Angel, Infernal Devices by Cassandra Clare. And, oh, I'm not going to pronounce the artist's name. This was just fun. This was a lot of fun for me. It was just nice being back in a world that I really, really, really enjoyed. So I ended up giving this a 4 out of 5 stars. Next book I read, Paper Towns by John Green. I don't need to talk about this book. I've talked about it without talking about it. I didn't love it. It's not my favorite. I didn't enjoy it. By the end of it, I felt really unfulfilled. But for people who did love it, I understand why they did, but it did not work for me. This is another book that while other people loved it, I just wasn't one of them. But I did end up giving this book a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Next book I read, The Sky is Everywhere by Jandy Nelson. This was a nice book. I had a couple of people recommend it to me, which is why I read it during the Booktubeathon. I read it. I liked it. Didn't love it. It was good. It wasn't great. It didn't impact me at all. But I did find myself connecting with the book on a very, very tiny level, but not enough to where I was just like, oh my gosh, this book was amazing. So I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. Next book I read, Fire and Flood by Victoria Scott. I believe this was the first book I read during the Booktubeathon, and perfect way to start off. Action-packed, so good, so much fun. The characters were great. I just love this book. I cannot wait until the second one. I almost dropped it. It was just great. I am now part of the V Mafia, which is the street team / club for Victoria Scott's books. And I am ride or die with this lady now because she took me on a journey with this book. Loved it. Oh my word. It was fantastic. 5 out of 5 stars. Next book is Forbidden by Tabitha Suzuma. I did a full-length video review for this book, which I will link down below, so I'm not going to get into this. Just know that while I did enjoy it, I didn't enjoy it enough. Because this book is just downright uncomfortable, and it's supposed to be. And I just didn't enjoy it in the manner that, I don't want to say I should have, or I could have. There was a disconnect in the second half of the book that I talk about a little bit, but in the end, I gave this book a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Okay, the next book that I have completed, I thought it was upside down. The Lost Hero by Rick Riordan. This is the first book in the Heroes of Olympus series, and boy, oh boy, was this book flawless. I don't understand how genius Rick Riordan can be. Like, how are you able to do this to me? Like, Percy Jackson and the Olympians is probably tied with the Mortal Instruments for one of my favorite series ever. If this series continues the way that I think that it's going to continue, it is going to be a 3-way tie for my #1 best series ever. It'll be the Mortal Instruments, Percy Jackson, and Heroes of Olympus. Like, this book was awesome. Of course, it's heavy. Of course, look how big it is. This book was a lot. There was a lot of information. You have to set up the story. You have to set up the whole arc of the series. And it is in this book. I don't want to spoil anything, but this book has been out forever. I'm just late to the party. But the way that Rick Riordan just incorporates Greek and Roman mythology is just mind-blowing to me. And we learn that Percy Jackson is part of something even bigger than the first series he was in. We're introduced to new characters, Leo, Piper, and Jason. Leo. Wasn't a huge fan of Piper. I heard she gets better, and I know she will. There's like 5 books total, so I know she will. But this world is just so big. It's so deep. It's just a vast world. And Rick Riordan doesn't slip up at all. Brilliant book. 5 out of 5 stars. 5 out of 5 stars. Like 10 out of 5 stars. It was that good. I loved it. Love it. And I actually finished this today. It was great. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, I am filming this, well, none of you guys know. I'm filming this on July 28th because of scheduling. And so I am still technically reading for the month of July, and I plan on starting and finishing The Unbound by Victoria Schwab. While I kicked the archive's ass about not really grabbing me, I do want to read this book, 1, because I have it, and 2, I want to give it a second shot. I want to give her a second chance and see if I could at least bump it up to like a 4-star, get a 4-star read out of this book. I plan on finishing it by the 31st. I will let you know in the description. It'll be the first thing there in all caps whether I finish this book or not by the time that this video goes up. This video is scheduled to go up on, I will tell you in a second because I have it on my phone here. When are you scheduled to go up? On the 31st. This book will have been done by the 31st. So, or at least that's my goal. Like I said, check the description down below. It'll be the first sentence in all caps whether I finished it or not. So, this is what I plan on doing. When all is said and done, if I finished this book, I will have read 17 books this month. July, 17 books. Yeah. If not, 16, which is still an awesome number for me because you guys know me. But yeah, so that's it. That is all for my wrap up. You guys, I will see you tomorrow for my TBR for August. As I've been saying all week, you're getting a video every single day this week. Well, Monday through Friday, not Saturday and Sunday. But yeah, so that is it. Comment down below with the books that you've read this month. If you read any of the books that I mentioned, what did you think of them? Do you love them? Do you hate them? Let me know. Make sure you have subscribed to my channel. Thanks so much for watching. I'm sorry for hat hair. But yeah, tell me what you guys think I should do with my little setup here. What should happen here? It's just help me out here. I don't know how to decorate. There's nothing on my walls here. I don't know how to do anything. I suck at interior decorating, so help me. Come to my house and do it. Fix everything for me because I can't. I suck. But yeah, I'm gonna go now. You guys, bye. See ya. All right, gonna go. Bye. All right, bye. See ya. Hi, Bailey. Come here back. Come here back. Bailey wants to say hi. Bailey wants to say hi. Say hi, Bailey. Say hi. Say hi. Hello. Okay, no. Bye, guys.